Hello, my name is Tony Minotti, and I am an associate professor at Osaka Shoin Women's University in the Early Childhood Education Department. Today, I will be talking about comparing an online to an on-site study abroad program. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Implementing a study abroad program into a Japanese university's English language program has been an effective way for students to improve their English language scores on tests, such as TOEIC, as well as means to give university students the ability to learn about new cultures in foreign countries. Reports from the Japan Student Service Organization, also called JASO, have shown that there has been a steady increase in the number of Japanese students participating in a study abroad program from the early 2000s until the beginning of the worldwide outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019. Statistics from the same organization show that in 2017, the average Japanese student participates in a study abroad program for 1 month period. Data also shows that even though Japan has one of the lowest average TOEIC scores for university students in Asia, students who complete a study abroad program have had an improvement in their test scores when they return to their country. Unfortunately, with worldwide travel restrictions in place, the ability for students to travel and immerse themselves in other cultures while learning English has been limited. Hence, the idea is to introduce, in some locations, the possibility to participate in a study abroad program online. Participants. The study specifically examines a women's university English major as an international language study student body. Before COVID-19, all second-year students were obliged to attend a 4-month study abroad program in either the United States of America or New Zealand. This was established so that the students would acquire the ability to learn English while learning about other cultures. As the COVID-19 outbreak started, the idea of an online study abroad program was proposed on the basis that even though the students were not able to travel to a different country, teachers could incorporate local customs and cultural understanding into the English language lessons. The on-site student study abroad program has been in effect for half a decade. While students give pre and post TOEIC tests based on their listening and reading abilities, students were also given a questionnaire before their departure evaluating their anxiety and expectations. After the return to Japan, each student gave a detailed presentation explaining their experience, while highlighting both the positive and negative aspects of their study abroad. Starting in the first semester of their first year of university, students in the English as an International Language program, or the EIL, had to take 7 English language courses a week. Each course had a duration of 15 to 16 weeks, depending if the professor gave a final exam, with each class time having a duration of 1 hour and 30 minutes. On top of the classes, the university offered an English language space called the English Language Teaching Center, or the ELTC. The space offered areas where students could watch English language movies or TV drama in a lounge, a large assortment of English language books to read, a free English language conversation space where students could make an appointment to have conversations with English-speaking foreigners, and a study area where students could make an appointment with teachers to review their material learned in class or get extra help with concepts that they did not understand. The university also organized extracurricular activities for students, such as speech contests and meet and greet activities, such as Halloween or Christmas parties. In short, motivated students had the resources to better their English abilities if they decided to put the time and effort into it. Results. The following graph shows the total TOEIC scores for students who attended the on-site study abroad program in New Zealand. As is shown in the first chart, the average score for the 32 students before leaving Japan was 364. The second bar indicates their score after returning from their overseas studies. On average, student scores increased by 111 points. The inquiry shows that the students improved from an elementary English proficiency level, very limited communication, to an elementary proficiency plus level, limited communication, with a 4-month study abroad program. The following two charts show the TOEIC scores of the 40 students who participated in the online study abroad program. As the chart indicates, the majority of the students were in the low 300 range in their TOEIC score, with the group averaging between 334 points. This indicates that they were at an elementary English proficiency level, or very limited communication, before starting the online program. Both the group that traveled to New Zealand and the group that stayed in Japan were considered to have elementary proficiency plus level, limited communication, prior to the start of their studies. As can be seen in these charts, at first, the post-online study abroad TOEIC scores were surprising. The students who stayed in Japan had a higher change differential than the students who went to New Zealand. Questionnaire. Upon completion of each program, a student survey was conducted to assess the students' perception of the lessons received, their feeling towards their experiences, and their suggestions to improve the program in future years. The questionnaires for both the on-site and online study abroad program students followed a similar theme. Students who had traveled outside of the country had overwhelmingly positive feedback about their experience and were more open to different cultural experiences, meeting new friends, trying new experiences, and an overall better understanding of other cultures. Still, some complained about their living quarters. These complaints referred to things such as having a noisy roommate or the host family constantly making the same dish every night. These issues were all resolved with the help of a third-party company that oversaw the homestay operations. Other issues dealing with everyday life also arose, but not as a major issue. No one complained about their education they received or the ill treatment of people in New Zealand. As for the changes suggested by the surveyed students, they pointed out that the 4-month period was too short, and that they would like, if possible, to have few Japanese nationals in each classroom. Finally, the students who attended the on-site study abroad program as a whole wanted to do another study abroad program, either again in New Zealand or in a different country. On the other hand, The group of students that participated in the online study abroad program had very different opinions about their experience. Most of them felt that their time online was wasted and not worthwhile. Many were disappointed with the classroom setup, as referring to that there were only students from their university in the class, which translated into an impossibility to frequently communicate with non-Japanese students. The only foreigner that was in the classroom was the teacher, except for the few times the New Zealand students were invited to the class to discuss their culture. The students also complained about the learning environment, which they qualified as being boring, following a preset lecture, teamwork, discussion, and homework structure. As for changes that were suggested, many believed that there was no point in doing a study abroad program online, and that in the future an online option should not be offered. Finally, this group of students was tremendously disappointed in not experiencing daily life in a foreign country. Most wanted to do an actual study abroad program in a foreign country, even if it was for a shorter period of time. Conclusion: the pre- and post-TOEIC scores of the two groups were a surprise. Before analyzing the data, it was assumed that students that traveled to a foreign country would have increased their TOEIC scores by a higher margin than the students that did their study abroad online. When pondering factors such as the online students had fewer distractions around them and that they started at a lower, easier point, it became understandable. It also must be noted that the difference in the change between the two groups was not significant. The major difference between the online and the on-site study abroad programs was seen in the attitudes of the students after the completion of the program. Students who traveled to New Zealand mostly had positive feedback from their experience. This includes the quality of the lesson, the interaction with people of the other cultures, and their overall understanding of the latter. All of this, as opposed to the feelings of most of the students that stayed in Japan to do their study abroad program. These students were disappointed with most aspects of the program, such as the quality of the lessons, their lack of interaction with foreigners, and their inability to have new experiences. Even though both groups of students increased their TOEIC scores after the programs, the students who attended an on-site study abroad program were much more satisfied with their experience than the online ones. This, as students who stayed home were disappointed with their experience and still yearned to travel overseas. Thus, if a school is considered doing an online study abroad program, it is recommended that the organizers create activities that are more interactive and stimulating to the participants. This concludes my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.